This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Well, it seems like Drake has masterminded his way out of a Cash Money deal at the age of 30, going independent. Now, he's not going to be completely independent, okay? Now, he announced that he's releasing another album called More Life in December. And this is technically his last commitment to Cash Money. Now, I know some people are refuting this, but you got to think about everything that's been going on the past few years. Music's going in a different direction. Okay, now let's go through before we get to how he's going to get out of his deal, let's get to all the projects he's dropped, okay? He's dropped Thank Me Later, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, and Views. Those were his major releases on Cash Money. Then, right before he dropped his first release, he had the So Far Gone mixtape, which Cash Money in turn took and then distributed out from a mixtape, just being out in the streets. They distributed it and nearly sold 1 million copies. It went gold. It sold about 800,000. Okay, then he dropped. If you're reading this, it was Too Late. Now this is where a game changer happened. I think Apple was feeling him out. Cash Money let it happen, and they counted it. It played like an album. It sold like an album. It sold 1 million the first week, okay? Then he came out with another mixtape with Future called Nothing, What a Time to Be Alive, okay? He dropped those both in the same year, guys, okay? So this next album, More Life, will put him at enough requirements to release him from Cash Money, and I'm sure they're not going to let him go without a fight, okay? But contractually, they're going to argue that he's made enough money for them to be released. Plus, do you think that Cash Money and Universal really let Drake sign a $19 million deal with Apple without getting a piece of that? Drake's not going to be just an independent artist after this. He's going to Apple, and that's the most powerful label you could be signed to, because that's how you consume your music. iTunes is the biggest distributor of music out there, and they're about to be they're already top 3 streaming services, and they might be top 2 soon, but with all the acts they've been signing and everything, this is where the music industry is going. It's going to deals with a streaming service or just having an indie deal and being on streaming services. I mean, it's been going that way for 4 years, and Drake is probably going to be the first major artist to be off of a major and then onto another form of a major, probably Apple. Apple gave him $19 million. Now, Cash Money obviously benefits from all this, from, if you're reading this, Too Late, to the Future album, to Views, to this next one called More Life. Think about it. If Apple's distributing your music, right? They're going to make sure you're in the forefront. People are buying that album. People can't miss that album. And they're going to make sure that the promotion is behind there. They can easily cross-market Apple and the artist. It works both ways, okay? So this was a great deal for Cash Money to do this. And this is the only way they would have agreed to Drake doing that deal with Apple, because they're not going to just let some other company distribute the music and get exclusives without getting a piece of that. Now, I'm sure there was non-disclosure and everything signed. That's why Birdman doesn't really talk about it. Drake has a different kind of deal than Wayne, because he's signed directly to Universal Cash Money. It's not signed to Cash Money then Universal. It's structured a little differently because there's a lot more pieces involved. But this is great for Drake. I mean, people say, he might be the next Jay-Z, right? And that's a controversial topic. I mean, Jay-Z, you can't take away his history. I mean, you can't have the same history Jay-Z did. I mean, he really came up at a different time during the rap game, started a label with his brothers, so it's never going to be the same. But as far as fame and everything, maybe. Okay, and think about it. Think about this, guys. You guys might beg to differ, but Drake's been going this way since after his second album, going to his third album. On Tuscan Leather, he alludes to this and then quickly changed his mind after he said some lyrics in Tuscan Leather that alluded that he might be changing his deal. And he's been branding OVO very hard for the past couple of years. We see that. So we gotta recognize that he's branding OVO for a reason. Okay, he's moving into OVO Apple territory, and I think he masterminded his way out of going through a major record label, still getting rich off of that, and now moving into a more independent route, but still with a major push. I mean, this is going to be interesting to see what happens in 2017. I'm excited, and let me know what you guys think. Down below. I love reading about new business deals and everything. This is a pretty major one.